Now, here is a story from Thailand. The Smith family from southeast England were celebrating Christmas at a beach resort in southern Thailand. Tilly Smith was a 10-year-old schoolgirl. Her sister was 7 years old. Their parents were Penny and Colin Smith. It was 26th of December 2004. Deadly tsunami waves were already on their way. They had been triggered by a massive earthquake off northern Sumatra earlier that morning. The water was swelling and kept coming in, Penny Smith remembered. The beach was getting smaller and smaller. I didn't know what was happening. But Tilly Smith sensed that something was wrong. Her mind kept going back to a geography lesson she had taken in England just 2 weeks before she flew out to Thailand with her family. Tilly saw the sea slowly rise and start to foam, bubble and form whirlpools. She remembered that she had seen this in class in a video of a tsunami that had hit the Hawaiian Islands in 1946. A geography teacher had shown her class the video and told them that tsunamis can be caused by earthquakes, volcanoes, and landslides. Tilly started to scream at her family to get off the beach. She talked about an earthquake under the sea. She got more and more hysterical, said her mother, Penny. I didn't know what a tsunami was, but seeing my daughter so frightened, I thought something serious must be going on. Tilly's parents took her and her sister away from the beach to the swimming pool at the hotel. A number of other tourists also left the beach with them. Then it was as if the entire sea had come out after them. I was screaming, "Run!" The family took refuge in the third floor of the hotel. The building withstood the surge of 3 tsunami waves. If they had stayed on the beach, they would not have been alive. The Smiths later met other tourists too, who had lost entire families. Thanks to Tilly and a geography lesson, they had been forewarned. Tilly went back to her school in England and told her classmates a terrifying tale.
The next story from Thailand is about Tilly Smith, a 10-year-old British schoolgirl. The Smith family had come to Thailand to celebrate Christmas. There had been a massive earthquake off northern Sumatra earlier that morning. Deadly tsunami waves were triggered by this earthquake. Tilly saw the sea rise, foam began to form on the surface, and there were bubbles and whirlpools. She remembered seeing this in a video of a tsunami that had hit the Hawaiian Islands in 1946. Her geography teacher had told them that tsunamis can be caused by earthquakes, volcanoes, and landslides. She started calling out to her family to get off the beach. On seeing Tilly so frightened, the family returned to the swimming pool at the hotel. A number of other tourists also left the beach with them. The building was strong enough to withstand the 3 tsunami waves. It is sure that had they stayed on the beach, they would not have been alive. Later, they met other tourists who had lost entire families.
Before the giant waves slammed into the coast in India and Sri Lanka, wild and domestic animals seemed to know what was about to happen. They fled to safety. According to eyewitness accounts, elephants screamed and ran for higher ground. Dogs refused to go outdoors. Flamingos abandoned their low-lying breeding areas, and zoo animals rushed into their shelters and could not be enticed to come back out. Many people believe that animals possess a sixth sense, and know when the earth is going to shake. Some experts believe that animals' more acute hearing helps them to hear or feel the earth's vibration. They can sense an approaching disaster long before humans realize what's going on. We cannot be sure whether animals have a sixth sense or not, but the fact is that the giant waves that rolled through the Indian Ocean killed more than 150,000 people in a dozen countries, but not many animals have been reported dead. Along India's Cuddalore coast, where thousands of people perished, buffaloes, goats, and dogs were found unharmed. The Yala National Park in Sri Lanka is home to a variety of animals, including elephants, leopards, and 130 species of birds. 60 visitors were washed away from the Patanangala beach inside the park, but no animal carcasses were found, except for 2 water buffaloes. About an hour before the tsunami hit, people at Yala National Park had observed 3 elephants running away from the Patanangala beach. A Sri Lankan gentleman who lives on the coast near Galle said his 2 dogs would not go for their daily run on the beach. They are usually excited to go on this outing, he said. But on that day, they refused to go and most probably saved his life.
The last group of stories indicate that animals have a sixth sense. The giant tsunami waves hit the coast of India and Sri Lanka. Strangely, the animals around seemed to know what was about to happen. They fled to safety. People who saw the events said that elephants screamed and ran for higher ground. Dogs refused to go outdoors. Birds like flamingos left their low-lying breeding areas. Even animals in the zoo moved into their shelters, and nothing could lure them to come out. Not many animals were reported dead during the tsunami. On the contrary, the giant waves in the Indian Ocean killed more than 150,000 people in a dozen countries. At India's Cuddalore coast, thousands of people died, but buffaloes, goats, and dogs were found unharmed. 60 visitors in the Yala National Park in Sri Lanka were washed away from the Patanangala beach inside the park, but the remains of only 2 water buffaloes were found. Interestingly, people in the national park reported 3 elephants running away from the Patanangala beach about an hour before the tsunami hit. And finally, there's the instance where 2 pet dogs saved their master's life. These dogs would be very excited about going for their daily run on the beach. But that particular day, they refused to move out of the house. This is what the Sri Lankan gentleman who lives on the coast near Galle reported. Now, from all this, I have realized something, that is, we are able to understand the importance of life only when we are in the middle of a calamity. Today we are alive because our life depends on so many factors. It is because we have food to eat, water to drink, oxygen to breathe, and a place to live. Even if one of these things go missing, we won't be able to survive. Well, when earthquake or floods occur, there are some who die instantly, but many others who die a slow death or are left with severe injuries for life. So every person who is present at that time is somehow affected by the tragedy.